How's it, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Ever wondered why Aliens vs Predator 2 is such a well-known game and you usually see it on a lot of different best games lists, yet very few people have actually played it? Well, as time goes on, more and more gamers are less interested in older games like Aliens vs Predator. But why, if it's so popular, at least in the zeitgeist of games and people know about it, is it seemingly falling into the dustbin of history? Well, that's because it was released at the same time as Grand Theft Auto 3. So that's a Chappy fact for the day. Oh, and if you don't know what a Chappy fact is, Chappy is an old school bubblegum that we used to buy as kids. And on the inside of the wrapper used to have little facts, as you can see here on screen. And I think it was a collectible because there used to be numbers attached to each of the facts. And for some of you that actually know the Chappy bubblegum, you probably didn't even pay attention that there is actually numbers and it's actually a collectible and there's only a limited number of facts. Which brings us to today's video, which is a guide on how to play Alien vs Predator 2 on modern systems. And if you guys get a chance, I truly recommend playing this game. This is one of the best games that has ever been made, especially one of the best sequels ever been made. Now, one more thing, when it comes to this guide, there are many fixes out there. And not all fixes are going to help everyone. Even the fix that I don't know for the first time know how I'm actually running the game. The game runs fine, but to start the game up is still a little bit of luck. I mean, I'll explain once we get to that part of the guide. But I'm going to go through my process of how I get the game to run, and then at the end of the video show you a few other examples of how you could also get the game to run that could alleviate your problem. And for those that have your installed CD still, you can still install your game, but you will still need the no CD patch, since the DRM does not work on modern systems. So you will still need to go through this process. And remember, all links will be provided in the video description below so you can follow along. And this is also a noob guide, so I'm going to go nice and slow so you can follow the process. Easy peasy. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, let's head over to abandonware since this game is being abandoned. Well, that's what you get if you want to launch your game in the same time as Grand Theft Auto 3, I guess. So this is the link for Aliens vs Predator 2. There's also, if you go down to the bottom of the page, there's also a expansion pack, which is Aliens vs Predator 2 Primal Hunt, which is this link over here, the second link that I'll also provide, but I advise you to not play it. The game runs fine and everything, but that was a rushed expansion and I don't think it's worth it. But if you want to play it, there you go. So let's first download the game, and it's a very small download. It's only 836 megabytes, so we'll just click on the download link and it will bring you down to this section of the page, and we'll just click download the ISO. What we'll also need is we'll need the no CD patch. So there is the no CD patch for the vanilla version, which is the ISO version after you install it, but there's also this patch 1.0.9.6 and the no CD version for that. We're going to need the patch, so we'll click on the patch, we'll download that, and we'll download the no CD patch for 1.0.9.6. So we've got the patch downloaded as well as the no CD file, and while the game's still being downloaded, we'll also need this patch, the AVP2 master server patch. So we'll go down to this section and click download. The download should start automatically. If it doesn't, of course, just click this so it can download manually. Like that, you see, I just downloaded it twice, so I'll cancel the one. And last but not least, we are going to need the AVP custom launcher, which is in this link over here. This is the latest release, but it's a pre-release, so the full release will be this one. But what we're going to use is the latest release for now. So we'll just click on that assets to open the drop-down menu, and we'll click on this 130_rc2.zip. So we'll click on that and have that downloaded. Now in the download section, you should have all 5 files, right? So we're going to copy these files somewhere onto your computer. It can be your desktop, it can be wherever you want it. We're going to put it in my games folder, and we'll go to XX. People keep asking about this XXX and stuff. This is just a way to keep the files at the bottom, so I don't have to look like where's mods in the middle somewhere. You know, I know it's right at the bottom. So then I'll just click on that, and that's why I also include 00 right here on top, so then I know, oh, here's files here right on top that I sometimes use or always use, as well as XXX games. If you just click on it, it's just all my games with the mods. So people keep referencing that it's my porn folder, but I don't even watch porn. I've never watched porn. The only porn stars I know is Lana Rhodes, Mia Khalifa, Riley Reid, Abella Danger, Brandy Love, old school stars like Sky Lopez, Kobe Tai, going back to modern stars like Nicole Aniston, Jenna Lee, Layla Starr, Lena Paul, Lisa Ann, Sarah J.
1 hour later.
Banks, Dylan Harper, Madison Ivy, Piper Perry. So please stop referencing my XXX folders. These are just ways of how I organize my folders. That's all. And it's got nothing to do with porn. I don't watch porn and it offends my sensibilities. Let's move on. So if I just go out, I'm going to put all these files into my mods folder, and these are just mod files and things like that. But for mod files for specific games, I've created an XXX games folder. So if we go into that, let's go into Aliens vs Predator over here, and we'll just cut this. Right click and cut, and click paste. Okay, so here's all our files. So first thing we have to do is just install Aliens vs Predator, right? So for that, we'll go to the ISO file. This is obviously in a zip, so we'll just export it out of here. So we'll just say extract all. So when this comes up, this will automatically ask you to extract it to where the zip is. So we'll say yes. So you don't have to change anything. Let's just click extract. And the window should pop up with the extracted file. You can close this window, it doesn't matter, because all it is, it's this extracted file over here. So we'll click into that, click into the file again, and here's the ISOs, okay? So we'll just double click on the ISO CD1, and we'll go into it, and we'll click on this setup.exe. Double click on that. This thing should pop up, you say yes, and the installation process will start. You'll click next, you'll say yes, and it'll ask you where to install. So you can install it here onto the C drive, but I don't like doing that. I like to install my games onto my games drive. So we'll click browse, and we'll just go to games, and I've created a folder called games installed. So we'll click on that, and then over here I'll just hit backslash, and then I'll put AVP2, and with that it will create its own folder within games installed called AVP2, and we'll click next, next, typical, next. Would you also like to install DirectX 8? You say no for that, don't have to worry about that, and just let it install. Now once it reaches over here, it'll ask for disk 2. So we'll just hit the Windows key on your keyboard just to bring up the taskbar, and we go back to where the ISOs are. So it is this file over here, and we'll just double click on CD2. Right, now you'll see here at the bottom, so now we've got a DVD drive of disk 1 and disk 2, right? So that's both active. So we'll just go back here and click browse, and just select disk 2 over here and click OK, and click OK again, and it should continue to almost 100%, and then ask to go to disk 1 again just to complete the installation. So would you like to install GameSpy? You can say no. Now it'll ask for disk 1 again. We'll click browse and just click on disk 1 and click OK. OK again. And you can either create a desktop shortcut, but I would advise not to, since we're going to be replacing the files. So we'll click next and finished. So now the game's installed, and all we have to do is just unmount these disks, because they kind of mess with the game, or the game won't launch if these are mounted still. So we'll just right click, and we'll go to eject, and we'll right click on disk 2, and we go to eject. Okay, if your window closes, that's fine. So now we'll go back into that mods folder, games, AVP. And what we have to do now first is we'll first have to patch the game. So here's the patch for 1096. We'll just double click on that. Click yes. It'll automatically find your game wherever you've installed it. So we'll just go through this whole thing. You see it found it over there. If it doesn't, then you just browse to where this folder is, or for where you've installed the game to. Click next, and there the patch has been installed. The next thing what we want to do is go to that master patch now, and the master patch is this 2.4 zip, right? So we'll just double click into the zip, and you don't have to extract it. It'll run from the zip itself since it's just this one exe. So we'll just double click into that, and we'll just click run. Just give it a bit of time so it can extract it automatically, and we'll click on yes and next. It finds the game again, and we'll click install and let this run. Once that is done, click finish, and there we've installed the master server patch as well. Go back one so that we're back to where all the patches are. Now that that's done, let's open up another window. So we'll keep that one window open with all the patches and the game and stuff. So we'll just go to where your game has been installed. So for me, it's in games, installed games, and AVP2. This is the file structure of your game, right? So all the patches are there and everything, except for the no CD file. That even if you install it with a CD, your own CD that you may have, it still won't run because of the DRM that doesn't work on modern systems. Let me increase this window a little bit. So we're going to replace this exe over here with the no CD file. So we'll click into the zip, go into the folder, and we'll just click and drag over. It'll ask to replace. You say yes. Now the next step, we'll right click on the exe and we'll go to properties. In properties, we'll go to compatibility tab on top here, and yours won't be like this. I think in my registry or something it just saves this, but set this thing to run either in Windows XP or Windows 98, and also set this thing to run it as administrator. Once you've activated both, you just have to click onto it, and then you'll click apply and say OK. So the game might run for you like this. It doesn't for me. So if you double click on this window should pop up. You click on yes. This is what you'll get, and you can just click play, and it'll ask you for your settings. Always choose high detail. This is what happens to me. This window pops up and then goes away. That's the engine trying to start, and the engine that's trying to start is this Lithtech engine. This is the issue with this old game, that this Lithtech doesn't work on modern systems as much. So we're going to need a custom launcher, which is that file that we've also downloaded, right? So if we go back into where all your patches and mods are, this 130, we'll double click onto that, and here you go. There's a widescreen fix as well in here and everything else. So we'll just copy all the files except for this folder, and we'll just click and drag it over. It should come over here like this. So we'll just refresh this folder so that everything can go into place. Here's the custom launcher. This folder is if you want to play in the resolutions over 2048. Since the game's engine, this Lithtech engine, only runs at the maximum of 2048. But of course, with all the patches and stuff, there were fixes. So we're going to install this DLL. So we'll just go into that folder and we'll just click and drag that over. Since we want to play in 2K, I have had this game run in 4K once and never again. So 2K is fine for me. And hopefully it'll be fine for you. So once that's there, let's refresh again and have everything be put in its place where it should be. Now in a custom launcher, if we just double click on this and we'll click yes, this comes up. So we'll go to game settings, and here, this is the default resolution. We're going to change this to 1080p for now. In the next section, we'll try and play it in 2K as well. But for now, let's just go for 1080p. So it will be 1920 by 1080, 32-bit. Don't change anything else except for enable aspect ratio fix and set this thing to 90 and click save and close. So let's start the game. And you see the game hasn't started. Let's just close this window since we don't need this anymore. Now, this is the point where I say that this game is a little bit jank and it's a little bit weird. The game will run, but it takes a couple of attempts to actually just launch the game. So all you have to do is just keep doing this and click start. By the way, when you try and launch the game, sometimes you'll get this where this window just stays stuck like this. This just means that the game froze. You'll see it's the LiftTech engine. So we'll just click close here and close the program. That does happen from time to time, and we'll just continue trying to launch the game. And when you see it go away, do it again and click start. Now I think this is a little bit weird. Yes, it is weird, and I don't know why this game does this, but usually around the 4th or 5th attempt, the game actually just launches. There are many theories to why this does what it does, but I don't know, man. It's an old game. After the 5th attempt, if it still doesn't work, you know, sometimes what I do for my sanity, I just click on the cracked file, and I'll just go into the play section and kind of like wake the game up, or just in my head I think it's waking the game up. I go back to launcher quickly, go over here, click start game. So let me do this a couple times and then I'll let you know how long it took. And there you go, actually the game just started immediately as I was saying. So how much times did that? 6-7 times? Okay, so the game has started. So you see, it looks small over here. The game will run at 1080p full screen, but just for the menu can't run anything other than its default value. So if you go to options, the one thing you'll see also, if you change anything in the options and you go back, your game will crash. But it will save whatever you've done. So we'll go to options, and here you can, and it's not for controls or anything like that, it's only for the graphics section. So we'll go to the graphics section, you see there it's at 1080p. So we can change this to 16:9, vertical sync on, doesn't matter. If we go to custom performance, this is where you change everything. So everything is on, so see that's 16, okay. Yeah, so we go 16. If we go to effects over here, everything is on. Textures, you can crank that all the way up. This is an old game, so don't worry about any of this. You can just keep everything like this and go back. Let's go back. Let's see if it... Okay, it didn't crash. That's good. So we'll go to game. Here's all just multiplayer. Multiplayer still works. There's still a lot of people playing this game actually. If you go to controls, this is where you set your controls. Okay, now you can play the game. So if we play the game, we'll just go to, let's say, the marine section. We'll just choose that, click launch, and the game launches. You see it launches in full screen. So let's just Alt F4 out of the game. So let's try and run the game in 2K. So we'll go into this and go to game settings, and we'll go for 2560 by 1440p, and we'll just click save and close, and we click start game, and we'll do this a couple times. So I'll just skip to the point where the game launches and I'll let you know how long it took. And there we go, the game is running. So the game took, I think, about 15-16 tries. Now luckily it's quick tries, you know, like not that long. I have gotten up to like 20 tries. I've also found out when you restart your computer, it launches faster than if you've done a whole lot of other things on your computer and then want to play the game. Now, obviously, this is not a perfect fix for those that are going to comment, oh, what a crap fix. Well then, Please find a better way and post it online. There are people that still want to play the game like me and would like to just click on the game and have it start. So there you can see, now we're in 2K. And we go to options, graphics. It should show over there, 2K, 16 by 9. Okay. Now one thing to note, that the screen or the HUD is much smaller than original, because it's an old game and it never thought that you're going to play this game in high resolution like 2K or something like that. Okay, and that's with all my research. This custom launcher is the only thing that works for me. There are other alternatives in case this doesn't work for you. You see the exe file over here? Some people have said if you change this to capital letters game, so AVP2 Game.exe, that helps a little bit somehow. So if you click on that, the game will also probably work in this way, you know, if you click play like a couple of times, because it has worked for me in the past. Let's see if anything happens. Nothing happens, okay. But anyway, this could help you. I will also provide a link to a fix that I don't think actually is a fix, but I mean, if you shit out of luck, I don't know, maybe you want to try it, but there has been a couple people, and I found a video that shows that modern mice as well as keyboards somehow affects the games. The game doesn't know how to handle that, or the Liftech engine doesn't know how to handle that type of peripherals and how to disable it. But I actually do advise against using this method, but I will still put the link in the description below. Disable some of the peripherals on your computer, like your printer and things like that, if anyone still has printers attached to the computers. There are also two other updates that you can install that could help you, which is the single player map update number 1. You'll just go to this link over here, click on the free download. You'll have to wait for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds is done, you'll get two options. I click on the top one, the Metro, and it should download. There's also this one, the AVP multiplayer update map update 1. Although it's for multiplayer, somehow it changes the files and has given some people a fix for playing their single player game. So I'll just click on the download button over there, click download again, and it should come up over there, right? So those are the two other patches that you could download. There's also this gaming wiki for Alien vs Predator 2. Many of the fixes that I've spoken about is in here, as well as a couple of other things when it comes to widescreen resolution fixes and things like that. So if you go down, you'll see all the different sections. This is a great help in case my way didn't work for you. There's even Windows 8 low frame rate in full screen and how to maybe fix this. Remember, this old game is one of the jankiest games to actually get running for a lot of people. So take all these fixes as it could help you, not that it's a fix for you. If you have mouse issues, this also has somewhat fixes for it. But now you know how to play the game. And for those that have the balls to even play this scary game, especially the Marine campaign, have fun. Well, that's the end of this guide, and if you've learned something today, like the Chappie fact, or how to play Alien vs Predator 2 on modern systems, then give this video a like. It'll be much appreciated and it helps my channel immensely. Also, if you like this and you want to see more videos like this, then just subscribe and enjoy. Thanks. Bye bye.